Hey viewers, back at it again doing another weekend project. Today we're gonna do something simple, easy, and fixable. We're gonna go ahead and change the shaft center support on this 2001 2500 HD Chevy Silverado. Pretty simple job, guys. To get started, make sure you support your vehicle on proper jack stands before you do any of this job. Let me go ahead and show you why exactly we're changing that center bearing support on this 2500 HD. Customer came in telling me that he was hearing some thumping, knocking. He didn't know what it was. After further inspection, I was able to pinpoint what the problem, what was causing that problem. So let me go ahead and take you on this quick view of why we're going to change this real quick. Alright, so this is your shaft. As you can see, the support is long gone, and this kind of coincides with what my customer was saying, that whenever he was driving the vehicle, I'm just going to turn this tire for demonstration purposes, kind of get an idea here what I'm talking about. See that shaft? See all that play right there? And that's me just rotating the tire. Just imagine going or driving it. I'm just a little bit concerned that this actually came out loose as well, just because the support here. This normally this would be like that. I want to say this rubber support would literally be back here. So hopefully we can figure out how much damage this was done. So let's go and get started, guys. First thing we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just mark some reference points, just because normally these shafts are basically balanced. So let me go and do that real quick. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and just put some reference point lines. Alright, basically just want to put everything back how I took it off. Just going to go ahead and put this here, and I'm going to come over here and do this. And on this side, that way I could just put everything back. I got this front, back. Alright, so let's go and start disassembling this. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and remove, there are 4 11mm bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go ahead and remove these, and then we're going to go ahead and try to see if we can move the shaft out of here, these the pinion seal. And then once we remove that, we're going to go up here and we're going to go ahead and remove the bolts on top of here. I don't know if you can see that. There's 2 bolts. I'll go ahead and figure out what size they are. Once we remove that, we're going to go ahead and pry the shaft out of the transfer case here. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Get you guys a little close up. Alright. So to remove these, I'm just using a 11mm wrench. and I'm just going to loosen them up using a mallet to do that. You can use whatever you have on your arson there. Just remove this bad boy like so. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Crack these loose. Remember, lefty loosey. There we go. And we're going to do the ones here at the bottom as well. Oh, this one's already loose. Alright. Making leeway here. And what I like to do, I like to kind of like make sure these are the ones at the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and put these, arrange them like that way I know where they go. And I'm going to do the same thing for these ones real quick. Be patient because these are pretty long, and if you have access to air tools, you could probably sneak in a nice size small socket for these. Alright, here we go. Alright, so this is the top one that we removed. So now the shaft is basically free. We're going to go ahead and try to see if we can maneuver it out. Let me go ahead and get a support, jack support. Give me 1 second. Alright guys, so I did have a little floor jack support just because I'm going to go ahead and since I'm working by myself, going to just use this just so that way when I pry it out it can land, it can be supported. If you're working underneath a vehicle, just make sure you have some type of anything to support this, that way it doesn't fall or damage or bend. So the next step, we're going to go ahead and free this shaft out. It is heavily not encouraged to use a pry bar or hit it with the metal hammer. I will be using a dead blow to kind of give it a couple hits here, soft. That way we can try to get this shaft out of here. So let's see if this works here. There we go. So 2 dead blows here. It basically free this. And again, if you're located in the East Coast, this might be heavily rusted in there, so just be patient, but try not to bang or Donkey Kong this, otherwise you could definitely damage that as well. So now that we have that free, I'm going to try to see if I can go ahead and do the next step, which I'm going to go ahead and start removing the two nuts up here. So let me go ahead and get that lighting for you, that way I can show you guys. Alright, so I moved that out of the way. Let's go ahead and do that top part. Alright guys, so next step we're going to go remove two 15mm nuts. Let me give you guys what they look like. So this is one right here, and this is the other one up right there. So let's go ahead and remove that 15mm nut. Let's see here. Loosen this bad boy up real quick. Alright. There we go. Got that loose. That's what it looks like right there. At the same time, I'm going to take the last one out, but I'm going to be very careful because once I take this last one, this is going to kind of want to come down. So just be mindful when you do this, okay? Look at this last one here. Alright, there we go. Alright. There we go. So let me go ahead and do this with two hands, guys, and then I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I got the last bolt there. So now I'm gonna go ahead, I have the shaft with one hand. I'm gonna go ahead and try to pull this out from that gear there real quick. Get you guys a good angle there. Push it out like so. Okay, so you might lose a little bit of fluid here. Just want to make sure there's no damage because it was kind of halfway out. Make sure it's good. Yeah, it looks good. Alright, let's go and inspect the shaft. So this is the shaft, and this is the shaft support that we're gonna go ahead and remove this bearing here. I'm just gonna inspect this. I see we got the seal. They replaced that seal that came off. Make sure there's no damage. Alright guys, so there's a couple ways we're gonna remove this. Let me kind of show you the best way. It's easy for me. So let me go ahead and get some new gloves and get this project started. Okay, so to remove this, normally this boot is held on by two metal clamp types. This one's here, but this one seems that it broke off or something like that because it's not here. Normally the metal clamp will be clamp holding the boot and this shaft here together, but apparently this one didn't have it. So with that said, all you have to do, you will remove this one but on this side, and that's gonna let you slide off this shaft like this. But again, let me Let me try to show you how to take this one off. Pretty easy. Just try to see if you could with the flathead screwdriver, try to put this little ear clip, put it down, and then that's going to free up this metal clamp. Then you could go ahead and take this off. But let me see if I can show you that in action real quick. Alright. So this is the clip I was talking about, this little ear here. I'm just going to use a dead blow. Just going to go ahead and see if I could undo it real quick. There we go. I think I went too far. I'll show you guys right now. And then once you have that, with the same screwdriver, just pry it out. We're going to try to see if we can salvage this. And this is going to come off like so. Just put this aside. And again, there should have been another one holding this one in place as well, like this, but I didn't have it, so I gotta make sure I tell the customers, so that way I can make sure the other one gets put out. So in this case, all we do is just separate this. It's gonna expose this, and I'm definitely gonna go ahead and make sure I clean this up, this rust. And also you can tell these U-joints, they need to be replaced. It's too much play. Alright, so there's a couple ways you can remove this. Well, first of all, since this rubber support, it's already broken off, we're just going to go ahead and slide this out. If yours is not broken off, I would definitely encourage you to see if you could remove it by tapping it with the screwdriver and just break it free. Because there are two ways we're going to go. There's two ways you could go about doing this. If you have access to a press, you could actually press the bearing out. Or if you have access to a really nice big puller, you could you could put the puller here, and then you could force it out. So I don't know which one you guys want to see. Hopefully, let me see. Let me show you the puller, using a puller method, and then I guess I'll just go with the press as well, so that way you guys can get an idea. All right. Okay, guys. So to do this job successfully, there's two ways you can do this. You can use a press, or you could use a puller, whichever works for you. You could get this puller, put it in between the bearing, and stick this here, and you could just pull it out that way. Another way, you could use one of these bad boys, and you're gonna go ahead and put it in here like so by the bearing, and then you're gonna go ahead and close this up, and you're gonna go ahead and tighten this like this, and then we're gonna go ahead and take this to the press and press it out. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And again, whatever you have available to you, just kind of showing you what ways you could do this, but whatever is easier for you. Again, I've done 1,000 of these, and sometimes, you know, the quickest ways might not be the smartest way, but just kind of give you guys an idea. Okay, so let me go ahead and get this set up, and let me show you guys how this is gonna go by. Alright, so if you don't have access to a nice puller, we can go ahead and do it with the press. So I'm going to set that up for you guys. Okay guys, so it also depends on the type of shop press you have. Some are bigger, some are smaller, but if you have the right side press for this job, let me kind of show you how I'm going to do this. Let me get you guys a good close-up here. Alright, I'm going to put the shaft slowly in here like so. And I'm going to go ahead and put these press plates here. And I'm going to go ahead and line up and make sure it's nice and centered like that. And then as you can see, it's hanging from the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and just gonna go ahead and tie like a little bungee cord. Just kind of pull this out of the way like so when I press it out. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get this bearing out. Okay. Alright guys, so once you have everything set up, ready to go, what I like to do, I like to put a little bit of deep penetrating oil just around the bearing, just so that way it could kind of help it slide out. Again, you don't have to do this step, but I always like to make my job easier. I'll always make sure you wear safety goggles, okay? Because this could definitely go ahead and pop. So let me go and do that real quick. Alright guys, here we go. I gotta show you guys a little bit. There she goes. She's coming loose. I can definitely tell that penetration oil really helped out tremendously. Let me give you guys some more still. I'm just gonna come here down and hold the shaft because it's gonna, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's already freed up parts of it. Again, coming up as we do it. So let me go ahead and continue, so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Again, I'm just making sure that I'm holding the shaft so that we can come off. Okay. Almost there, guys. Almost there. There she goes. Alright. So now let me go ahead and remove this cap. And this is a wheel bearing. And that's what I'm talking about. If you put that penetration lubrication oil, I'll go ahead and lubricate this really nice. And see how it penetrated all the way down, and that was the reason why it was easily came off. So let me go ahead and get this out of the way, and I'm going to pull this back, and then I'm going to go ahead and take that shaft out of there. Go ahead and take this here back to the table. Alright, so the next step, guys, we're going to go ahead and make sure we clean this really good. Where's my shop towel at? Alright guys, so just go ahead and make sure you clean this really good. I'm going to take some emery cloth and just sand it down a little bit. Not a whole lot, just a little bit, so that way the new support bearing could go in smoothly. And then I'm going to go ahead and grease this as well. And again, this is what we took off. This was a bearing that we removed, and this was the part that went here. Alright, so let's go and install the new bearing, and then we'll go from there, guys. Okay guys, so I did want to give you guys a little tip. I called my local auto store and asked for the support shaft bearing, and they told me that there's different sizes, so definitely measure your shaft opening here. This is 39 millimeters. Okay, that way you guys can kind of get the right one, because that way you don't be kicking yourself afterwards. Actually it's 40 millimeters, and the actual bearing itself, let me see, get this measurement here. Alright, so just want to give you guys that tip. Make sure that you measure this really good. That way when you call, you have the right, they give you the right part. You don't put the wrong one. Alright guys, so let me go ahead and order that part, and then I'll do part 2 of this video. Stay tuned, okay?